Come in, come in.
Hi, Justin Davis with Indianapolis Colts.
Justin Rick Rory.
How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
It's a pleasure to finally get a chance to meet you. I know we spoke over the phone a couple of times, but
Yes,
mind if I have a seat?
Oh, please, yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I see that that Bears flag right there. I'm surprised you let me through the door.
Yeah, go Bears. That's right.
Big Bears fan?
Huge. Yeah,
That's
since childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Colts country and I'm proud of it. So.
Well, that's good. I'm not trying to sell you to be a fan here today, so
Okay.
that's good.
All right.
I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today. I know you're a very busy person, so I do want to be as productive with our time today as possible. With that, I do need to make sure that you are the person in charge of making purchasing decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the CEO here.
Okay, great. So, how long have you been here?
I've been here at the Youth Opportunity Center for about 20 years.
Okay, I'm gonna take some notes if you don't mind as we kind of go through it. Great.
Yeah.
So 20 years, and you said you're the CEO, so you kind of probably worked your way up. I'd imagine.
I've been the CEO for 18 of those years, 18 and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
That's fantastic. How are you liking it? You've been here for a while, so I'm assuming it's going great for you.
Yeah, I enjoy my work. It's challenging, but I enjoy it very much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well, my goal today is really just to get to know a little bit more about you, tell you a little bit more about the Colts, and see how there might be some sort of partnership we might be able to make with the Colts and the youth organization.
Sure.
So really today I'm just going to kind of ask you some questions, show you a little bit of things, some of the things we have to offer, and kind of as we go through you can let me know if you're interested in it or not really. And then by the end of this conversation today, hopefully be able to decide if we can make that partnership move forward. Does that sound like a good plan?
That's great.
All right. So what kind of advertisements are you guys currently doing?
We do a lot of just direct business client advertising, person to person, targeting those people that can place kids with us. From just trying to make sure we influence our census and try to make sure people know we have a reputable business that takes good care of their kids when they place them here. The only other thing we really do is just kind of awareness for donors within our footprint, our service footprint. We currently do business in about 35 counties throughout East Central Indiana. So.
Okay, that's great. So you guys are pretty spread around the Indiana as a whole then, huh?
Yeah, primarily Delaware County. About 25% of our business is here.
Okay.
But the rest of the counties represent about 75%.
Okay, and then those are the main ways you reach those other counties is through those two.
Yeah, we send people out on the road. We send direct mail pieces. We host some events here on our campus and do some education for our clients as well. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. And then again we do some general awareness for donors and things like that, just to make sure that they understand our brand and who we are and why we're asking for money, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of budget would you have for trying to get your name out there for that type of advertising? Whether what you currently do or what you think you would be able to have.
Yeah, well, I'd probably for not just give a dollar amount, but obviously, if our clients, the people that place kids, aren't aware of what we do, then we don't really have a business and service to utilize, and so advertising and public awareness of what we do is even becoming more important as we're emphasizing our foundation.
Okay. So obviously there's going to be some kind of money spent with your kind of organization, every dollar counts. So what are you looking to get at with something that you kind of talked about awareness of your services? What kind of other things are you looking at getting out of spending that money towards advertising?
Yeah. Well, just to give you a sense, we're about a $14 million a year in revenue organization. So the things that we're trying to accomplish, obviously, is that we want people, placing agents who we deal with at different counties, understand who we are as an organization, and that they're made aware and they feel good about us and our brand. And in addition to that, from a donor standpoint, again, as it's becoming more important as well, we want them to understand who we are, what our needs are, as well as just the fact that we're a quality organization that they can trust. So those are really two very distinct purposes of which we try to reach out to our constituents.
Great, absolutely. Well, I definitely can show you some ways that maybe the Colts will help you be able to expand and kind of work on some of those things.
Okay.
And today, as I go through this,
Yes.
I did make this for you to keep.
Oh,
So as we go through this, I'm going to go through kind of quickly.
All right.
But just if you see something that stands out to you, just hey, I really want to look at that some more. So, you work in those. You said 35 counties.
How long have you been doing this?
I have been doing this for 3 years now.
3 years? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So.
Okay.
Something I'm very comfortable with. Been a Colts fan my whole life. So.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Hey, I wasn't
Right.
sorry in 2008. That's for sure. 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, you talked about the 35 counties that you're currently working in. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, with the Colts, we reach a lot of the different demographics in those different counties. There's over 650,000 fans that attend Lucas Oil Stadium just for the Colts games, just for the home games each year.
What kind of price range do your options that you're talking about today range from?
The cheapest is, or the least expensive is $5,000, and it goes up to $50,000, depending on what we get. And we can, if it's something we really like, that's why I kind of wait for that factor to the last. Because if it's something you like and you really need and want, we'll talk about the price later.
Well, I just want to make sure we're in a ballpark that is within our budgetary requirements. So yeah.
So we're getting started. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right.
But talking about the demographics, gender, I'm not really sure if you guys are really gender specific or not, but the Colts reach the highest out of any team in the NFL of women. So
that would make sense.
Yeah.
For the Colts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll ignore that part there. So, age is another thing that we kind of pride ourselves on as a Colts organization. Even the youth that you work with, from age 7 to 17, that's 74 to 82% of that they watch us. So they're going to be able to see, recognize if you're doing advertisements with us, you're going to see it and recognize it a lot.
And again, all of our kids come from Indiana, and the fact that most of them have been are less than 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably born and raised Colts fans.
Absolutely. That's the only way to do it in Indiana. So,
Yeah.
Team Marks is the first thing that we talk about offering. This is basically where you get to use either any of these logos here on any of your signage, anything that you guys put out there. So anything that you're giving to the people you work with, you can actually put, say, you're a proud sponsor of the Indianapolis Colts, and you can put one of these emblems on there.
Okay.
Is that something you would
Possibly.
consider? Okay.
Possibly.
So I'm going to mark these with just an X as we go through them, and
Okay.
actually make note of them too in here so I can know what we're talking about. The next is the radio, TV, and internet coverage. Does any of that sound appealing?
It's
go.
possible.
Okay,
Sure.
so the radio basically is going to cover any of the counties that you're in. It covers all of Indiana. So unless you're clear up here in Angola, I think that's what that says. Yeah, so maybe not so much there, but it covers most of the state of Indiana. So that's something where you'll just make a commercial yourself, and then it'll be heard a couple times throughout the game.
Okay.
So it just goes into more detail. Like I said, I'll leave this with you.
Okay.
The other thing is our Colts TV station. This is broadcast the game. It's actually on affiliate of the news channel down there in Indy.
Mm-hmm.
And you just make a commercial of, you could get the kids involved, different things like that, whatever you want to do, and actually put them in the commercial. And then the final thing is the internet, like I spoke of. We have obviously the Colts website, and we put a lot of our sponsors on our website. So, maybe all, but which of those sound the most appealing?
Yeah, I think again, it'll be a price benefit issue. So, and do some of those come in packages, or are they all just standalone?
They're all standalone,
Okay.
but the TV and radio were both on the lower end of that, on the 5,000 side of that. So.
Okay.
The next part is the signage, which is usually the biggest part that our sponsors want to get into. The first one we offer is the big screen. Obviously, it's a new.
Are there potential tickets a part of this, and maybe hosting an event for our donors, like through a suite or something? Is that part
Absolutely.
of that as well?
Any kind of package that we put together today, those automatically are included in it.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on what you want, and we'll talk about that. I always say that to the end because that's always the best part that usually everybody wants to talk about. They always want to go see those Colts games. So
Yeah, especially if the Bears are in town.
yeah, and you know what? I actually have the schedule of this season that I just put in here, and looks like they're not in here this year. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, Obviously, new stadium, gonna have the top of the line stuff. So our LED televisions there, they're 36 feet tall and 96 feet wide.
You do know who played the first game against the Colts in Lucas Oil?
Yeah, and we lost. It was the Bears.
Yeah. I just wanted.
I figured you might
just
bring that up.
wanted
So
to make sure you knew that.
But so this is your message will actually be displayed on this big screen.
Mhm.
That's obviously going to attract people's attention, being that big.
Mhm.
Some of the other things we do, as you can see here, we have the smaller LED screens that have their separate advertisements on them that are 15 by 24. Those go 2 minutes during the game or the preseason or the pregame, sorry, and then 2 minutes during each quarter. So you're getting a total of 10 minutes of advertising throughout the game. The next part is the smaller signs. Those are the 6 by 10s, and the same amount of time goes with those. And then you can also do a replay, which is a lot of the you get one replay per game because there's only about 10 replays per game, or sometimes more than that. But your message will be displayed just like that right before, so everyone's going to be looking at that.
Okay.
And the last signage we offer is the ribbon that goes around. It's a 3-foot tall ribbon, and your message will be displayed across that. You can either do a sideline feature or each corner ribbon, and that just flashes during the game for 40 seconds each quarter.
Okay.
So, of those, which ones sound like the best for you that you'd be the most interested in looking at?
Again, without seeing pricing, it's difficult to tell. I
Let's
imagine those
do
are
this.
more expensive, I would imagine, but
Okay.
so
Obviously, the biggest one's going to be the most expensive.
Right.
This one's 10,000 for the one game,
right.
and then the rest of these smaller ones are 5. So
Okay.
keeping that in mind, kind of knowing
Is that per game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, per game.
And do those come? Do you have to do the whole? Can you go? Choose games, or do you have to?
You get every game throughout the season, so you'll
Okay.
get your sponsor. If you go with us, it's that 5,000 for the 8 games that were at home,
Okay.
and then your message will be displayed for that duration for
Okay.
that 10
All right.
minutes. So
All right. Well, that's great.
yeah, it's definitely well worth it. So, and like I said, the ribbon's also the 5,000. So looking at knowing that and having that in mind, what do you?
that range is fine. Yeah, those.
Okay. Great. The next section that we have today is the publications. This is something that's handed out before each game for free to the first 35,000 people that are there, and that's just has the roster, and so everyone's always flipping through it, wanting to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Not
I
really.
think you get lost in print. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. The next thing is I like to call it the miscellaneous section. You can advertise either our mascot. With the cheerleaders and different events that we have throughout the community, and client events that are out there. Does any of that sound appealing?
I mean, there's a chance that we might be interested in an event at some point in time, but
Okay.
probably would need to learn more about that.
Okay.
Those options, yeah.
Okay. What kind of questions do you have with any of those?
Why don't you leave it for me to read?
Okay.
And then we can follow up.
Great. And for the last part is the tickets. Obviously, we talked about that. Any kind of package that we put together, these will be included in it at the end. You can either get club seats, preferred seats, and group seats, and that's if you want to bring a big group of people. You get the group tickets, and it's like 200 people, and you just get in, just a section blocked off for you. The club seats are actually the best seats in the house, and these are right here at the center of the field down
Right.
low. So. The other thing we do offer is the suites that you mentioned. The suites are either, you can do a single game suite, which is if you want to bring the sponsors up for one game, you can either have 19 to 21 seats available in those depending on the suite that
How
you
much
get.
would something like that cost?
These run for one game is 10,000. So,
Okay. Including tickets, the suite rental,
yeah,
and
and
everything?
food, everything's
Wow.
included, parking, and everything is with that. So,
Okay.
or you can actually do a long-term suite, which is through all 8 games, which is obviously going to be a little bit more than that, but it'll be the whole game. And then I left this in here for you to be able to look at and see what kind of home games there are in
Okay.
there.
Right, great.
So after looking through all that, I know we talked about some of them stuck out more than others. What do you think overall?
Well, we'll want to look at our schedule, our planning relative to, we're in the process of doing our marketing plan right now.
Okay.
And our budget time is from now until we adopt it is mid-June for a start date of our annual budget, July 1. And so what's your timing? When do you have to have decisions for these things?
Actually, the middle of July is our cutoff date because we have to
Okay.
get it all ready and all
Okay.
organized.
All right.
So I would say July 15th.
So this is for me to keep.
Yes.
And so
Absolutely.
I can talk to our folks about that and look at our schedule relative to what we might want to do with donors, and then you can get back to me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'll, like I said, I'll leave that with you, and I will actually follow up with you through an email, and I will. Obviously, I want to be able to reschedule this. I have
Right.
another meeting, maybe July 2nd or so, if that falls on a good day.
Sure. Yeah. We should have decisions a little bit before that.
Okay.
That's when budget will be adopted. So we'll probably the first part of June would be a good time maybe to touch point again.
Okay, and then
So-
the next time I can bring prices back for you, and we
Yeah.
maybe take a better look into it after you kind of go through each one and be able to
Right.
show your team what we have to offer. So,
That sounds good.
how does June 20th sound?
Can you email me?
I can.
And then
yes.
we'll coordinate schedule that way. It's probably easiest for
Okay.
me to look at my calendar and go from there.
Okay, but do you mind just kind of throwing it, just having it out in the calendar, just a June 20th kind of as a
Fallback date?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
great.
Yeah. If you'll send me an email just to confirm that, and then I can
Absolutely.
check and make sure it's okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then if you have any other questions throughout that time, we can exchange during via email. So if you present it to them and they have some more questions, you can let me know.
All right. Sounds great.
Hey, I appreciate your time
Good.
today, and
Yeah.
look forward to this partnership.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Be careful how I do this.